everyone, and welcome to the Real Positive Girl podcast with me, Sabrina. This is the show that's going to help you become your best self. And today we are talking about be yourself confidently, what to do when people don't understand you. But before we jump into that, as always, I want to invite you to come say hi to me on Instagram. I am at Sabrina Joy Perozzo. I'd love to hear from you. Any comments, questions, ideas for the show, anything that you like to chat about, or we just can be friends online. That would be super cool. You're also welcome to send me an email at realpositivegirlpodcast@gmail.com. I am checking that email multiple times a day now just to make sure I don't miss any, and I would love to hear from you over there. We also have a fantastic Facebook group. It's called the Real Positive Girl Community, where I'm trying to get it going, and I'm trying to think of new ideas. So if you have ideas for better things for me to talk about that and get that group going, please let me know. But you can go ahead and join that group. It's all of these things are going to be in the show notes below. And I'm going live in that group every week. I'm trying to provide you guys a free tools and resources, start discussions, and really get that to be a place for us to, I don't know, like to just be a good community and to encourage each other and just be there for each other, okay? And the last thing I want to invite you to do is I am officially launching and opening up my 8-week coaching program, and so that will officially start in June, but I'm going to start talking about it more and more and getting people interested in it because it's going to be so cool. So it is very personalized coaching program. It's definitely very one-on-one, where I go through all the different topics of how to become more resilient, how to build mental toughness, and just to become your best self. And that program is called Your Mindset Matters. And so if you want to learn more about that, you can check out the link in the description and let me know if you have any questions. I would love to answer that, but it's going to be a really good program where we can work one-on-one and just help you really lean more into becoming your best self. So enough with all the announcements. Let's go ahead and jump into today's episode, which again is be yourself confidently, what to do when people don't understand you. As dramatic as this sounds, I have felt misunderstood my entire life. And yeah, I'm aware that's really dramatic. But I'm just being honest. Like, I truly feel like no one has really understood me, not even my parents or my siblings. It's weird. It's kind of like a lonely place to be, but it's a place that I've accepted. I never really felt like anyone truly got like who I was, or who I am rather, today. And no doubt part of that was due to the fact that I was such a people pleaser, and I'm still recovering from that, that I was generally, pretending to be whoever the people around me needed me to be. I've talked about this many times. I was such a chameleon because I just wanted to fit in. I wanted to be part of the group. I didn't want to be casted out or ostracized, or even have anything for people to really truly pick on me about, minus maybe the clothes I wore. But even then, later in high school, I started working at PacSun, and so I was wearing cool trendy clothes, and so it was one less thing for people to be able to pick on about me. And that was part of the reason I just didn't want to have anything where anyone was going to be able to make me feel bad about who I am and not let me be part of the group. And I always actually considered myself to be Switzerland growing up, because I would definitely be friends with as many people as I could. I would not just stick to one group. I would be everywhere that I could, just because I wanted to have friends in every situation. Enough about that. But so yeah, I was wearing a mask most of the time and lived in fear of letting out the true me until I met my husband. And I met my husband in college. I met him the second year of college, right before it started. And, even then I still held some stuff back because I didn't want him to freak out, right? I didn't want him to be like, ooh, this girl's crazy, even though he still stands by the fact that when we tell people how we met, he's like, yeah, I thought she was crazy when I first met her, but she was intriguing and she was fun. And so, maybe to him I wasn't hiding it because I knew that he was the one, you know what I mean? But yeah, so I'm sure many of us have felt misunderstood. You have your own story, you have your own feelings about how that makes you feel, when it started, the points where you just felt lower, or maybe the few people that you have let in to who you really are. But we don't feel like people understand our point of view, the reason we do things a certain way, the way that we problem solve a situation, why we like certain things and don't like other things. Like there's so many things that we feel like people just misunderstand about us, which is interesting that these things are all things we are all different with, yet there is judgment when we are different than someone else, right? Because people typically gravitate to those that are similar to them. It's like a comfort zone thing. It feels very comfortable and easy. You don't have to try too hard. You don't have to learn that much more about someone, right? It's kind of, I would say, the lazy way to go about bringing people into your circle, becoming friends with them, building these relationships because you're not actually trying that hard because these people are very much like you. So you're like, oh, it's familiar and it's easy. This is something I wish that we could all improve on because we should make an effort to have people in our lives that are different from us so that we can learn from them. I find that so interesting. And that's, I guess it's another reason. I don't think I consciously was thinking of that, but in school, it was another reason why, maybe unconsciously why I was friends with everyone. And I did learn so many things from so many people with different backgrounds, different family structures, different religions and races and everything in different ways that they just decided to go about life. And I found it to be fun and very interesting, very, very insightful for so many different things. And having people that think differently and do things differently will help us widen our perspective on life and ask better questions. And I think that's one of the things I like the absolute most, and I'm always talking about how it is super important for us to widen our perspective and see things from different ways and different point of views with different problem solving choices because it'll really help our brain work in a different way and help us to be more resilient and bounce back and have the capability of dealing with things easier in times of stress and overwhelm and anxiety because we're able to see what's happening or what could be done about the situation from a different way. But we will also become stronger in so many additional aspects of our lives. It sounds like a utopian idea. I totally understand that. But I think it could really work if we actually tried. Like, sincerely, I think it could work. But for now, though, we have to deal with people not really understanding who we are and why we are the way that we are. And that can be really tough because it can like instigate hurt feelings and sometimes a deep dive into what I like to call the pit of despair, where you're having a pity party, where you feel like you're the victim, everything's happening to you, no one else is at fault, you don't want to take any responsibility for anything that's happening in your life. Like, you're like, no, I'm just going to feel bad about everything. And sometimes it's okay to be in that spot and to feel those feelings. But if you're constantly revisiting that pit, you really need to figure out like what's going on. You kind of need to have like a mindset check, a heart check of like, okay, why do I continue to gravitate towards this negative space? Why is it trying to hold me captive? That's a different discussion. But we also like in being misunderstood, we also don't want to be miscategorized or identified as something that we aren't because it can lead us feeling insecure or not part of the group or ostracized. And no one wants like any of these things. No one wants to have any part of that. And most people just want to be included and accepted. But unfortunately, that will not happen all the time. And big props to the people that are like, I just don't care, I don't give a crap. And I feel like that maturity can come in time. That mindset can be built if you don't have it. But the people that just like gravitate to that and ease into it a lot quicker than some of us, including myself, like props to you because it's amazing. Like it's something that I envy. I'm like, man, I really wish that I just didn't care as much. And I feel like we can all kind of get to that spot where it's like we don't care. Sometimes we care because, constructive criticism and feedback is helpful, but like mostly we don't care because they ain't got any claim on what I need to do. But yeah, so unfortunately, this is not going to happen where like people will just include us no matter what. There will be times we aren't included purposely, like pushed out and seen in a negative light. despite all the positive things we do. And that used to hurt me the most. I used to kind of be a victim, have that victim mentality and be like, well, I'm doing all the good things. I'm doing everything right and blah, 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 blah. And honestly, like, whether you practice Christianity or not, it would humble me in a moment. When I would say that, I'd be like, oh, but I'm doing everything right. And I would think about, well, Jesus did everything right. And then, he got nailed to a cross. So I just like have to humble myself really quick and be like, okay, listen. Right. Okay. Just because I'm doing everything right doesn't mean I should have the expectation that I will be accepted, because that doesn't mean that the other person is seeing it that way. That does not guarantee that they're like, oh, well, yeah, Sabrina checked all the boxes that she's doing everything good. I need to accept her. Absolutely not. That's just not how the world works. People have judgment. People have biases. People just believe how they want to believe, right? And sometimes it sucks. A lot of times it sucks. And, being misunderstood somehow feels like there is something wrong with us, right? When there really isn't, but it kind of makes that glaring judgment or those opinions and how they're like, I don't even understand. You're like, oh, am I doing something wrong? Like, what's off with me? When it really isn't you, generally. It's just like, there's several things that encompass like being misunderstood, which we're going to get to here shortly. And, we can't get people to see us the way we want just by asking, because if so, man, that'd be awesome. That'd be so easy. So we need to come to some sort of acceptance that not everyone is willing to change their perspective. And I think once we hit that acceptance that not everyone is willing to change their perspective on us, it'll feel like a weight has been lifted off you. You have less of a burden to deal with because you're like, okay, they're just not going to change their mind. There is no reason for me to continue to worry about this because it has been confirmed. They will not change their mind no matter what I do, and I shouldn't worry about this anymore because maybe someday they will, and when they do, that'll be a glorious day, but for now, let's move on. Just keep it moving. But despite how people see us and view us and like us or not, accept us or not, that shouldn't change who we are and how we go about life, as long as we aren't hurting anyone. And that's why I titled this episode to be yourself confidently, because despite what other people are saying or thinking or misunderstanding you for, you still need to be who you are. And that's even a reminder to me because I struggle with that sometimes. I don't like to be misunderstood. It feels so darn uncomfortable, but sometimes I will, right? And it just is what it is. And I have to be comfortable in who I am and don't let like their whatever feedback that they're providing you, positive or negative or neutral, change who you are, because who you are is great. Yeah, we're always learning and growing, becoming our best selves, but you don't have to fundamentally change everything about us just because someone's like, I don't really get you. Because if that were the case, then so many people would be different people like every other day, right? We need to stand confidently in who we are and know that we are doing our best. Unless you know you're not doing your best, then maybe you should work on it. That, I know, that's kind of like, that's a little real talk. Like, just really think about it. But I'm assuming that we're all doing our best. And some people just won't like you, and that's their choice to make, right? That is their absolute choice to make. We do not have to like everyone. But their opinions of you don't have to change how you see yourself and live your life. They absolutely don't. They're not the gospel truth. They're just their opinion. It's made up of their own perspective of you, and theirs is really, really narrow. It only encompasses a couple interactions with you. Then it's not going to be a very good one, right? Or not going to be very encompassing of like everything of who you are, right? And that's what they choose. Some people only like people very similar to them because, again, it's laziness. They don't want to step outside their comfort zone, and maybe they were taught not to do that. Maybe it's just like in their cycle of their family, which is unfortunate. Um, but yeah, so that's why today I wanted to share with you 5 things you can do when you feel misunderstood to kind of make it not as much of a burden or something that you're anxious about or worried about, and kind of like let it go a little bit. So we've got 5. Let's go. Number 1, get to know yourself. Now, if you listen to this show often, Sometimes when I'm like writing episodes, I'm like, man, is someone like betting that I'm going to start with like a certain type of tip at the top of the tip list and then assume what they was going to be at the end of the list? I'm going to say that you won't know that the normal thing at the end of this list, if you listen regularly, is not the normal thing at the end of the list. Anyway, it's just funny because I'm like, man, are they already going to know what I'm going to say before I say it in like a way? But I feel like this is a little bit different. So anyway, number one, get to know yourself. So this might be difficult. And even when I was writing the notes, I was like, I don't know if I want to say this, but it's kind of true sometimes. And I like to be real with you, right? We're not making any of this crap up. We're figuring it out together. We're being transparent. We're being vulnerable because we're trying to become our best selves. So each and every day. So maybe the reason you were misunderstood is because like there are conflicting things about you, or you don't appear to be the same person each time. So if you're a people pleaser, sometimes you can jump around and be like a different personality. Generally, with me, I was kind of the same personality, and I was just like tweaked a little bit for how like bubbly or not people are and kind of like what they prefer to do and be about. But I felt like the personality kind of stayed the same because when I would ask people or I know people would like say something about me like in a positive way, it was always the same feedback. Oh, she's so super nice and giving and there and blah 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 blah, right? And that's the persona that I wanted to be because of course I was a people pleaser. I wanted to do everything I could to be included, to be accepted, which means I had to make them happy, of course. Um, so yeah, but consider that. Like, is it because, you're not the same person all the time? Are you wearing a mask, but you're wearing two, three, five completely different masks with different people, different groups, and sometimes you get it mixed up, or maybe those two groups got together and it was like chaos. You're like, how am I supposed to be the way that I need to be when I'm supposed to be two different people, right? Sometimes that can happen. So this isn't living your life based on other people's opinions. I just want you to know that right now because you might be like, well, Sabrina, well, I thought you said we're not supposed to do that. You're not. You're not. But it can alert you to do some understanding of your own. If someone's like, they're misunderstood and they don't understand who you are, you're like, am I giving off the right, like who I truly am? I don't know. And if you don't know yourself that well, because maybe you're a people pleaser like me and you pretend, then you can't expect other people to understand you. You need to understand yourself first for other people to understand you, because then you'll maybe understand where the misunderstood and miscommunication is coming from. So, and if you don't know yourself well enough, you won't understand like why you do the things you do, like where your motivation's coming from. Thus, not knowing whether your needs are being met or not. Because if you feel misunderstood and you're like, well, I feel misunderstood, but like, do you exactly know why? Are these like actually congruent with how you truly feel? Are the needs that you feel like need to be met, maybe those aren't your true needs? I don't know. So it's just good to like really understand who you are and really ask yourself, like, who am I? Am I being the real me? It's a tough question because sometimes you're like, well, on Tuesdays and Thursdays with certain people, I am myself, and all the other days I am not, or something like that. When really we need to become consistently being ourselves every single day, even if it's just like ramping up from like 1 hour a day to 90 minutes to 2 hours, continuing up that like staircase with like small steps of becoming ourselves, being our true selves every single day. Because I know it can be really tough because you're afraid of people's judgment, you're afraid of letting people down, making mistakes, all of these things. I am tracking with you, but we need to be our authentic selves and we need to understand ourselves very as well as we can so that we can figure out if people misunderstand us, we know what that is and not that we're going to change it. It's just becoming aware of like, okay, this person thinks this about me. They're probably not going to change their mind, but maybe if you wanted to influence them by being your true self, but maybe showing more of that, they will better understand who you are and what you're all about. So get to know yourself. Number two, work on communicating your needs. If you look up like any article about like feeling misunderstood, a lot of those articles talk about not communicating what your needs are very well. And I agree. I agree that sometimes we are misunderstood because we are not communicating the things that we want, the things that we need, the things that we desire. And that's kind of on us, like, right? Like, if you aren't getting what you want or what you need and you're not expressing that in the best way, then you only have yourself to blame. You can't just like pawn it off that responsibility to someone else because you didn't hold up your end. How are they supposed to like take your order and complete it if you don't tell them exactly what you want, right? It's like if you were standing in the drive-through and you just looked at them and you expected them just to know what you want and you just looked at them and they're like, I don't know what you want. This is really confusing for me because you didn't say. You didn't say what you wanted. You didn't order anything. So, sometimes we feel understood because we are not receiving the support that we need from others. And usually it's because we aren't communicating what we need in a way for others to understand, right? So let's hope that we aren't being passive aggressive, though. I definitely want to put that out there. Let's not do that. If we could stop doing that, that'd be great because then you actually get your point across. You'd actually get people to understand if you weren't being passive aggressive. Just throwing that out there. But there could be times when you have shared what you needed, but they just didn't understand it. Like they truly didn't understand it. So be patient and ask again if you feel like they just missed it. It just like flew over their head. Totally possible. Give them the benefit of the doubt. That's what I believe. Not over and over again, but just weigh it out. Give them the benefit of the doubt. It's also possible that you didn't understand their way of responding to your needs, right? Maybe they were trying to respond to what you asked for, but they do it in a totally different way that you do not understand, that does not compute with you. And that's fair. That could happen too. So just keep that in mind. And also realize that maybe you aren't getting what you need because you didn't choose the right people to support you, which is a totally different problem entirely. But you might want to rethink like the people that support you, which there will be an episode coming around that really soon because I think it's important to have like a good support group. And when by group, I can even mean like 2 people because you would be 3 and then that would be great. So just something to consider. Work on communicating your needs. Maybe the people you're communicating it to just don't understand you or they're not the right people to communicate it to. And just work on being more direct and assertive, not aggressive. Number 3, filter yourself less. I feel like this one hit me the most because it was like a lot of times we will filter ourselves when we're nervous or we don't want to come across as however we don't want to come across. And so we cut back words, right? It's totally possible that we are misunderstood because we don't really know, because we're leaving stuff out of the conversation. It can be kind of like clunky and like, weird and awkward and like, oh, what are you talking about? Or why, what? Like, I don't understand what you're saying. That's how they're feeling. So maybe your conversations are a little empty because they feel like you can't be honest about how you feel or what you want. By also filtering less, you can really like lean into your true and more authentic self because this will give like a more like well-rounded version of you for people to better understand. And so it's really important for us to try to lean more into our authentic selves and really just share those weird quirky parts of us, our honest parts, our caring parts, our weird parts, whatever it is, so that we can fully show who we are and people will better understand us that way because they're like, oh, you make jokes about this and that's why this matters and that's why this is funny and that's why this is happening, right? They'll like connect the dots once they can see all of the dots that need to be connected for them to better see the whole picture. Remember those like dot to dot or like whatever like pictures where it's like 1 to like 100 or something and you'd connect the dots based on the numbers and it would come out to be like a picture but you didn't know what the picture was before until you put all the little dots together until you like wrote them, like connected them all together. And that's kind of like how you are right now. If you're not connecting all the dots or you're skipping over some, the picture is not clear and complete. So you need to fill it all in and then you'll be presented like rightly how you are. And that's not a promise that they'll accept you then. No, I'm not promising that. It's just a more better wow. It is a better representation of who you are and what you're all about. So there's nothing left out. So try that. Filter yourself less. And yes, I struggle with this because I feel like my personality, like my real one, is weird. It's so weird, dude. It's so weird. And you'll kind of get a glimpse of that if you follow me on TikTok, because I've been like just my weird self there, kind of leaning more into it. Not on Instagram, but I'm thinking I'm just going to go full throttle on Instagram because why not? Why not just, be who you are and let them come or let them not? It's whatever. Number 4, be vulnerable about why you want to be understood. You feel misunderstood? Okay. But why does that matter to you? It's just like going back to talking about the people that like don't give a crap and just like, oh, I don't care if I'm understood or not. It doesn't matter to me. Why does it matter to you? Right? Be vulnerable. Ask yourself those questions. Like, why? Is it about being included? Or maybe it's about being an outcast or not being an outcast, rather. Or maybe you are one, you don't want to be one. Or maybe you were taught it's a bad thing to be different from others, right? I think I've politely told you guys how when I was growing up, and my dad admitted this to me, so I'm not making it up, that he raised me to act like white people, because I'm half black, so that I would fit in better to the system and to all the opportunities that were available to me as like a child and a young adult. It's I was definitely taught to not be different. I was taught that I needed to be the same. And he thought he was doing like the best thing that he could do to protect me and to make it easier for me to move through life. And I'm definitely very like white passing, so, I get it. But I also was like, ugh, like, man, what did I miss out on then growing up? You know what I mean? But yeah, so like you could definitely, had been taught like that you can't be different from others. And so you want to be understood because of that. So ask yourself the deep questions on why it's important for you to be understood by others and what that means for how you live your life. Do you feel like you're living scared and living in this lonely little bubble because you aren't able to fit in with the right other community of bubbles that you want to be involved in? Like, really consider it. Like, really consider it. Like, ask yourself those questions. Like, why does it matter? How will it make my life better? How will it make my life worse? What would happen if I was understood in every single group of social circle that I'm involved in, whether it's work, family, home, friends, hobbies, whatever, online? And what would happen if I wasn't accepted into any of them, or maybe just one? Like, how would that make me feel? What would that mean for me? Would that really change the way that you live your life? Got to ask yourself these deep questions and really understand why it's important for you to be not misunderstood, for you to better work on, filtering yourself less, communication, understanding who you are, and really being vulnerable about why you want to be understood is really just an extension of, again, learning, understanding who you are. Okay, number 5, and the last one that I have to share with you today, protect your peace at all costs. So important. And I've heard this advice recently online because it's gold. It is gold in words. Protect your peace at all costs. So if they don't understand you, then let them be wrong, right? If they just don't understand what you're trying to get, what you're trying to deliver, just let them be wrong. Like, who cares? Like, some people already have their mind made up about everything, and you aren't going to change them if they aren't ready to change. That is definitely a big lesson that I like to share all the time. You cannot change other people unless they are ready to change. And even if you're like, no, Sabrina, I got this and that person to change, okay, but maybe they were ready to change. Or if they have changed, are they still changed? Some people will temporarily change because maybe they're a people pleaser. Maybe they just want to make you feel good, make you feel like you did something great. And now they're back to their old ways. Just think about it. You cannot get someone to do something unless they want to do it. We as human beings, we are stubborn. We don't want to do nothing that we don't feel good about, that doesn't like align with what we want, right? Even if you're a people pleaser, you don't necessarily want to do things that would make other people happy or help you fit into a group, but sometimes we just do it because we feel like we have to, right? So I want you to just consider, like, a lot of people have their mind made up already. You need to protect your peace. You need to be at peace, even if they aren't. It does bother me when other people have the wrong idea about me. I'm going to be honest, it does. But we cannot control how other people feel. And if you have control issues like I do, that's a really hard thing to step away from. But the more practice that you do, the easier it'll be. Take a step back and be like, okay, you're just going to be you. I'm going to be me. I'm going to let this go. Not going to let this create, overwhelming emotions for me not to feel good and enjoy my life because you're having trouble enjoying yours because you're just set in like whatever mindset and perspective that you have. That's cool. Protect your peace at all costs because it's important to you. And who cares what they think? So, well, that was all 5 of my tips on how to deal with feeling misunderstood. I hope it's been really helpful for you. And thank you so much for listening to the Real Positive Girl podcast. Again, with me, Sabrina. I appreciate you listening, downloading, and sharing the show. Again, I hope that you jump down to the show notes. I hope that you join the Facebook community. Come see me on Instagram, send me an email, and, join the 8-week coaching program that's going up. Again, very personalized, one-on-one. Help you go through your specific concerns and struggles and align that with the content that I want to teach you and coach you through and help you, feel more confident, feel stronger in your mindset, and feel like you can bounce back from any struggle that is trying to come at you. So check all that stuff out. And until next time, have a good one, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye, everyone.